is let's get into the 9 ways that Monica Garcia is the Truman Capote of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Okay? Number 1. Truman Capote was a writer troll, while Monica was a blogger troll. So, as we know, the reason why Truman had his huge falling out with the Swans, aka the Real Housewives, if we want to compare them, is because he basically wrote an expose about their lives and published it in Esquire magazine. That is the equivalent today to doing a blog post, a YouTube channel, a podcast, a troll Instagram account. So he basically did exactly what Monica Garcia did. He took slices from their real life, their real gossip, their real tea, their real drama, and he used it for fodder in the media. So he was the first troll. So he was the writer troll and she was the blogger troll. Crazy. Number 2, they both intentionally infiltrated high society's female social circle. So as we all know, I know Chocolate Chunks, you can't look at her. I thought so too, but let me do Chocolate Chunks because I can't look at Monica. I thought we were done with her. I agree. I thought we were done with her too, but when I was watching FEUD, Capote versus the Swans, just the similarities were so striking that I just had to pull them all together. Do you know what I mean? I just had to pull them all together. Like the first thing, the mere fact that they literally did the same exact thing. He took the real life of the Swans, them being cheated on, their finances, who hates who likes who's having sex with who, all of this stuff. He took their real life drama and he took their real life tea and struggle and he put it on Front Street. He wrote about it and put it in a publication. That would be the equivalent today of doing a troll Instagram account or a troll TikTok account or a YouTube channel or a podcast, right? So it's basically exactly what Monica did with her Reality Von T's Finsta account. She's taking these people's tea and lives and drama and putting it on Front Street. It was crazy. And then number 2, they both intentionally infiltrated high society's female social circles. So as we know, he intentionally infiltrated the Swans. And as we know, Monica intentionally infiltrated the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, particularly targeting Jen and getting in with her family and her whole circle on purpose. She even said it herself. We got in, we infiltrated it, just like he did. Number 3, they have the secret jealousy with the intent to betray for the sole purpose of fame, access, and monetary gain. So Monica and Truman Capote both had the same exact intention. I'm going to infiltrate these high societies circles. My intent will be to betray them because I actually secretly hate them and I'm very jealous of them because I want what they have. I want fame, I want access to that life, and I want money. Okay? Number 4, they both have mommy issues. So Truman Capote had a very troubled childhood. His parents were divorced, and then his mother essentially abandoned him. And then his mother ended up, unfortunately, taking her own life as well. And he always sort of struggled with that. And he felt that he was sort of avenging his mother because his mother was poor. She didn't have a lot of money. She wanted to be a part of high society, but high society never really accepted her. And she ended up truly abandoning him. And then she ended up taking her own life. And it's very similar to Monica and her mother issues. She claims her mother abandoned her. Her mother wanted to be the star. And we've all seen that unhealthy, toxic relationship between her and her mother, and how her mother also wants to infiltrate that world because she also wanted to be a star. So they both have these underlying weird mommy issue. Mommy wants to be a star. I'm doing this for mommy. Toxic relationship. Number 5, they both have the same manipulation tactics. They both lie, deny, and play victim. Monica did it throughout the entire season. She'd lie through her teeth, she'd deny what she would do, and then she would cry and play the victim. He did the same exact thing. He would lie through his teeth. He would deny that he was betraying the women, and then he would play the victim. Woe is me. Everyone's against me. Blah, 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 blah. So they had a very similar narcissistic, unhealthy way of, very toxic way of creating chaos and then playing the victim. Number 6, they both at least allegedly claim to have abusive spouses. So as we know, all of a sudden, Monica was like, oh no, I really wanted to talk about how my ex, was physically abusive to me and I wanted to be an advocate, blah, 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 blah. And as we know, she was probably just spilling that tea because she wanted a good narrative and she wanted back on the show, which didn't work because as we know, she was fired. But similarly, it has been documented that Capote was also in physically abusive relationships. So they both sort of, I don't want to say use that to play victim because I'm not diminishing domestic violence by any means, but they both had that similar background where they were with abusive people and then they would use that abuse to garner sympathy. So when they would do something wrong, they would be like, oh, but something's happening to me, So they both had that same similar way of garnering sympathy, or at least trying to, through their alleged abuse of their spouses or their boyfriends or whatever the case may be. Number 7, they both weaponize, quote, being poor. So what I mean by that is Monica definitely cried like she was poor on the show. Oh, woe is me. I'm a single mom. My husband left me. But again, we all realized that wasn't true. She was co-parenting with her husband, Mike, until they got divorced. And now she's getting $6,000 a month and she gets to live in a $500,000 home, which is good. She should, he should take care of him and the girls. But Capote, similarly, because he had a very not a tougher upbringing in childhood. His mother abandoned him. His parents got divorced. He did not have a lot of financial means. And he would use that again as well to sort of guilt the Swans and to guilt the rich women into sort of taking him in and paying for things and taking him under the wings and showing him the world. So there's nothing wrong with not having financial means and then, coming up in the world. There's nothing wrong with that, but they both weaponize that in order to get what they want. Number 8, they both use the create division between the ladies, very divide and conquer tactic. So we saw this with Monica. She tried to get everybody to go against Lisa. She tried to get people to go against Angie. And so she was really playing the women against each other, especially with the whole Meredith DM situation, a very divide and conquer. You can't trust each other, but you can trust me type deal. Capote did the same thing with the Swans. He would throw a big party and say, well, I'm going to have, one belle of the ball, one person that I'm going to really, honor at the ball. And so he would have the ladies fighting and competing in a very high society way for his attention, to be the person who's honored, to be the belle of the ball. And then he would kind of whisper things to them. Oh, well, she said that about you, or did you hear what she said about you? Or don't really worry about that. Or he would invite the mistress to the party, or he would invite the next chick to the party to watch them fight and to watch them squirm. So he would do the same exact thing. Cause tension and division between the ladies, have them fighting amongst each other, and then everybody fighting for his attention and for his validation. And number 9, this was the one that was the weirdest, that was so weird to me, and it really shook me up, but they both changed their names to Garcia. I know this is weird, but it kind of shook me. So Truman Garcia Capote was actually born Truman Structives Persons, and he changed his name. Same thing with Monica, who had about 4 different last names. She says she was born Monica Linda Darnell, and then she changed it to Garcia for the show. She just picked a random name her mother had because she wanted a family name. I just thought that was really bizarre. But there you have it. My 9 ways that Monica Garcia is the Truman Capote of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. inspired by FEUD on FX, the Capote versus the Swans. But I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about these weird similarities? Do you think it's bizarre? Do you think it's weird? Are you watching the show? And what do you think about the original housewives, the women who really came before? What do you think about them? So go ahead and put it down below. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. Aw,